Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Aqueduct on Saturday is the $500,000 New York Stallion Series, 7 furlongs, 2-year-olds. Let's take a look at this field of New York breds, and not surprisingly, we've got a big field for $500,000. Pretty evenly matched. Favorite on the outside, the 13 Dream Biggers, won his last 2 races in front-running style, is going to have to get the 7.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if he gets the 7 furlongs. I suppose that could be the problem. He towers over this field on figures right now. He's way the horse to beat.
Captain Bombastic, the number 8, though, really not that far behind. And this is a horse that won at a mile last time out, so you're really not too concerned about the 7. Interesting that he was listed as a vet scratch on November the 20th. Does that worry you here?
I mean, I guess you have to always consider it. I don't know, obviously you never know what the reason is for that. Listen, I'm sure that Jeremiah Englehart, this is the race that he was pointing for along with everybody else, and he's in.
A couple bullet workouts leading up to this race makes me think Captain Bombastic is just fine. We'll take a look at the Timeform U.S. Pace Projector. Big field, 14, Munaki expected to make the front. I don't think Munaki's going to go for the lead in here. I think Jeremiah said, it was probably a mistake to go after Dream Bigger last time out. Dream Bigger is to his inside. I think Dream Bigger, the 13, is probably going to try to go make the front. Maybe a sneaky horse to make the lead is Kierkegaard, the 6.
Hey, he's shown plenty of speed. His only dirt start so far, they did put him on the front that day. That was going longer. He's got speed. It'll be interesting to see how they play it, though, because Munaki so far has been a speed horse. They really wanted to lead in the notebook. They sent him from the gate in there, and he was just no match for Dream Bigger.
Another horse that's been up close to the pace is the 1, Hold My Call, who benefited with the addition of blinkers and the drop in class to a state-bred 50 maiden claimer to score last time out in pace-pressing fashion. 61 Beyer speed figure for Hold My Call. Solid, not spectacular. Dream Bigger handled him 2 back.
Yeah, he was just no match for Dream Bigger 2 back. They dropped him for this race, put a pair of blinkers on him, and he won easily on his wrong lead the entire way, not beating a lot in here, but it was a step in the right direction. He's got an awful lot to find against this field.
Another horse stretching out to 7 for the first time, going to have to deal with some other pace. The 2, Color Me Patsy, is at the board in 5 of 6, including this race at Finger Lakes on November the 18th. Maybe the right running style for this race, and that Color Me Patsy likes to come from out of it. White blinkers outside. It's going to make a belated minor rally to get 3rd.
He's on his wrong lead here. He just looks like his horse is very green. He changes late. Now you're going to see him get a look at it. He's going to get outclosed by the horse right to his inside. That horse is going to get up and win the race. This horse is just going to miss second. Listen, he's got to take a step forward. He looks like a work in progress to me. He's very green in his races, and he's been terrible from the gate every time. He just breaks slowly from the gate every single race. 3 Brunate seems to be a little bit of a reach. This horse is listed as a first-time gelding, has only raced once, was 74-1 in a turf race, and kind of just ran evenly around the track that day. It was a nice field. They're trying dirt here. I guess there is some dirt pedigree, but he's going to be a big price because we don't know what we're going to get from the second time starting maiden. Yeah, I mean, he really didn't do much running at all in the turf race first time out. Obviously, when they're putting up this kind of money, if you have one in your barn that you think can run it all, take a little shot at it. So maybe that was Bond's plan. Prep him on turf and then come back for this race.
Big Package has only raced once on dirt, beaten by Dream Bigger in a race that featured 2 other next out winners. Seemed to improve with the switch on turf, and I thought it was against a pretty good field on the grass last time out, but I think that's where his future lies.
I mean, it probably does. Dave Donk, his trainer, though, has been adamant that he wants to run this horse on dirt again, so I'll go with that. He does have dirt pedigree on the bottom. His last 2, I think he ran really well in his 2 turf races. Not only the win, even last time, I thought he ran a deceptively good 4th that day. So maybe he is better on turf, but Donk wants to run him on dirt, and this horse has some ability.
Turbo Drive, the number 5, his lone win came on the turf, but he's run well on the main track. We'll go all the way back to Saratoga in July. This horse's 3rd lifetime start. Mike, take him home. He ran 3rd behind a very sharp horse in City Man.
Yeah, City Man was a first-time starter in here, and it's turned out to be pretty good. Turbo Drive stumbled at the start of this race, and then he just wound up. He's down on the inside there chasing. Can't really get into it, but he races on all the way. He finishes an okay 3rd in here. It does feel like he improved on turf, but we'll see what happens as they come back to the main track.
City Man did come back to win the funny side with a 72 Beyer, then 3rd in the Bertram Bongard with a 76. So facing good company on dirt that day. Kierkegaard is another horse whose lone victory came on the turf, but he ran a good race on dirt, going a mile and a 16th in the mud. We'll go to that race right now. He showed good early speed. He made the lead. He's going to get run down by two others in the lane, going a mile and a 16th, and maybe that was it. Maybe the distance was just a little bit too far at this point in his career.
Yeah, it might have been. It's also worth noting that we picked this race up. He had just cut the corner on that field and got away, but he was taking pressure all the way through the turn in there. And you just see him get a little tired at the end here. I did think he took a step forward on turf last time at Churchill, but he just had complete control of the pace that day. It's a different story. I like him cutting back, and I don't mind them trying dirt again.
It's a risk coming off a 3+ month layoff following a maiden win at Delaware for the very, very astute Jason Service. We'll take a look at the last race. They dropped him in for 25, and everything looks great. He wins by 3. He actually has a 5-length lead at the 8th pole. He got a 33 buyer, Mike. He's going to have to do a lot better. Even doubling up might not do it.
Yeah, it won't do it, even if he doubles up. You can see him, he's flashing his tail here. He's not really finishing that strongly in this race. He did race very greenly first time out. I guess this is a slight improvement. It's not going to get it done against this field, though.
And the runner-up came back to earn a 31 buyer, went second in his very next start. Captain Bombastic, the 8, versatile running style, really should help him in this race. Came from off of it, going 6.5 after a little slow out of the gate. Last time out, pressed the pace on the outside. We're going to take it when he attacks on the turn. Here's Captain Bombastic in the Sleepy Hollow Stakes, and once he makes the lead, he is very, very game. Cleon Jones is a rock-solid New York bred. He's going to make a run at Captain Bombastic. Has the momentum. Captain Bombastic, though, says no. I don't know. I watched this race, and I think you like this horse a lot more than I do. I don't know. I just thought he's crying for someone to get him, and no one does.
Yeah, that might be true. And listen, maybe he might not be a horse who wants to go a mile in this race, and maybe he just did it on talent alone here. He tracked the pace very strongly early. And even though it was close at the end, it sort of felt like Cleon Jones was never going to get by him. But I do appreciate that they're turning him back to 7. Yep. I think that's going to really help this horse. He's a half-brother to Highway Star, who was really more that sprinting type of New York bred. So we'll see what happens. I have no problem with this horse in this race. I think he's a clear-cut second choice, and I think he's a major player in here.
Off that 77 buyer, he is a fit. The 9 Chowder really improved with the switch to Aqueduct for trainer Gary Siaka, showing big early speed, much improved speed last time out. We turn into the stretch, and he's going to be on his left lead all the way around the track. That's the favorite Bourbon Bay, who's making a run at Chowder. I'll give Chowder some extra points. He holds everybody off, but he's another one. Visually not the greatest. The fig came back okay.
Yeah, he did clearly take a step forward in here, and you're right, the fig did come back okay. It's not a visual masterpiece. It's worth at least pointing out here that while he holds off Bourbon Bay at the end, Bourbon Bay was a first-time starter who totally blew the start of the race and had a big excuse in there. He did come back to win last weekend at Aqueduct. So he seems like a pretty nice horse, and Chowder did hold him off.
I think Banconche is a sleeper for the Jason Service barn, making his second start off of about a 3-month layoff. Last time out, beaten by Dream Bigger. I thought it was a good, solid prep. I think he'll get the 7, and I think he's going to get the right trip because he has some tactical speed. At 8-1 on the morning line, he's a horse I'd like to throw in my multis.
I'm definitely using this horse. If I was going to take a shot against the big favorite here too, it'd probably be with him. We'll see what he does. I thought all in all, the notebook off the left was not bad. Never looked like he was going to win, but I didn't think he ran poorly at all. And going back to his debut at Saratoga, the form of that race never really worked out. But at the time, I actually thought it was a good maiden. I thought this horse looked really good winning it. So I was a little disappointed it took him forever to get back to the races. But when he came back in the notebook, I did not think he ran poorly.
Tercero, now with Bill Mott, still a maiden. We saw him finish 3rd to Chowder in Chowder's race replay. He took a step forward in his first start on the main track, and is another horse that seems like he has tactical speed. It's kind of a big ask, but again, for this kind of money, you take a shot with a 2-year-old that has any kind of ability.
100%. I mean, you have a horse who you feel like could, even just get a piece of it. You have to run him in here. This horse, he ran fine last time. I didn't love his debut, and he never looked like he was going to win the last race either, but he was staying on, doing his best all the way.
I'm concerned about Giant Shoes. I think he could easily win this race for trainer Brad Cox. He made his career debut in an off-the-turf race over a very wet track at Aqueduct, but I liked the way he finished it off. It looked like he got out-sprinted on the backstretch. Really, Javier did not panic at all. He's going to take this horse to the outside. It takes him a while to change leads. He does right now, and now he's rolling, and he really kind of wins this race pretty handily with a solid 68 buyer speed figure. Now, I think the 7's actually going to work out very well for this horse. I think he wants another furlong. long. We'll see how he handles fast going and winners.
Yeah, and we'll see how he handles what might be a much faster pace too, because you pointed out he got totally outpaced early in that race. Like, he just couldn't keep up with those horses, and it's not like they were flying. I liked the way that he finished it off. I do, and he's got a lot of pedigree too. He's bred to be a nice horse. I don't know. I'm not way against this horse, Dan. I just wonder what's going to happen when they go really fast in front of him.
I wonder if he's my Albany horse for next year. Yearly wager. The 13 is Dream Bigger, and he's the deserving favorite in this race. 4 races. Beyer speed figures between 77 and 84, including the Beyer top last time out, going 6 in the notebook. He pressed the pace setter. That was Munaki on the outside. He takes over the lead, and he just keeps right on rolling. It looks like he's getting a little tired late, but they were going fast in the early portion of this race. I know some folks are going to say post 13 is no bargain. 7 furlongs is a question mark. You're taking a short price with those questions. I understand it. I just think from what we've seen off the cold dope, he's going to be real tough.
He's supposed to be really hard to beat in here. He's a triple fig coming into this race. Nobody in this field is Beyer above 80. He's done it 3 times. He is just several lengths faster than these horses right now, and being drawn on the outside probably helps him. He has speed, Dan, but he hasn't really shown that he's a horse who has to be on the lead. I mean, you can go, I know it took him a while. He didn't break his maiden until start number 3, but you can go right back to his debut, and you knew this horse was good. He ran really well against Tis the Law that day.
He was favored over Tis the Law, who eventually won the Champagne, one of the better 2-year-olds in the country. We saw Munaki, the 4th, just couldn't step with Dream Bigger when the chips were down, turning into the stretch of the notebook. But again, I think Jeremiah Englert this time around is not going to want to go for the lead and get caught up in a duel. I'm not sure the change of tactics are going to work. Boy, he looked good winning his debut, though, at Saratoga. I mean, he humbled Chowda.
And his debut was really good. And I wanted to give him an excuse for the Bongard in his next start because he didn't break great in that race, and I thought he wound up out of position in there. Hard to make an excuse for that last one, though. He was no match for Dream Bigger.
Top pick time for the New York Stallion Series, $500,000 is the purse. We both just think that Dream Bigger is just too fast for these horses right now. We know these 2-year-olds can improve by leaps and bounds from race to race on a Beyer standpoint, but he's got that tactical speed. He's got the figs from an outside post. We're hoping he can work out a trip. 13, 8, 9, 10 for me. 13, 10, 8, 4 for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to, I didn't really want to go too hard against Dream Bigger. He just looks like the right horse to me right now. If I use any, the only other horse that I would consider betting on top in this race is the 10.
The New York Stallion Series, race number 8 at the Big A is your feature on Saturday. 3:46 Eastern is the post. Good luck.